What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today I'm back. Actually, it's the same day that I'm recording all my videos. Today I am back with another post-ban list, I should say, deck profile. Now, if you guys haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Get your boy to 5,000. I am grinding for you guys. I'm trying to get these profiles out as soon as possible for you guys. So if you guys enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. Everything counts, bro. Everything helps, and I appreciate all of you guys, every single one of you guys that subscribe. So today, without further ado, we are doing Monarchs. Oh, before I get started though, I should say everything is going to be linked in the description below. By everything, I mean my social media and everything else that I am associated with. Check it out. Everything's going to be in the description below. So now back to the video. I was just saying that Monarchs got they got Pantheism. They got Pot of Greed back, and I would say Pot of Greed is a pretty good card. So they got their card back. The thing is, I'm going to be completely honest with you. This deck is still kind of bricky, bro. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. This deck still freaking bricks. But Pantheism back makes it not as bad as it was. And so we're just going to get into the profile here. Let me know if you guys, I don't have a lot of, the only experience I had with Monarch, if I'm being completely honest with you, was like back in 2016 when it was like BA, Monarch, Pepe format. That was the only experience I ever had with Monarch. And funny enough, if you guys didn't know, this card allowed for a freaking Monarch FTK. That was so stupid, man. It was so dumb, but whatever. We're here now, and the Monarchs are back. This card right here is insane, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Like, Vanity Fiend, it's so easy to summon in this deck. Once you just drop a Vanity Fiend with like a Monarchs Erupt, like your opponent's just not playing. To be completely honest with you, your opponent's just not playing. And if you guys see here, before I get into the profile, you guys see that I'm not playing a Majesty Fiend. The reason I'm not playing Majesty Fiend is because I decided to play Monarchs Erupt. I just thought a Floodgate was just, even though Majesty Fiend is still technically kind of like a Floodgate, it's just this I could just flip on my opponent, whereas Majesty Fiend required more of a setup. So this is it. I'm like running very minimal monsters right here. So I'm running triple Erebus, triple Aether. I think these are pretty much self-explanatory. Your boss monsters of the deck. Triple Vanity Fiends, which is actually the real boss monster in your deck, to be honest with you. Like, these cards are obviously really good, but I mean, like, Vanity Fiend is one of those things that's just, you just make it, and it's freaking insane. Like, if you just set this up with like an Erupt, like, your opponent's not really playing too much, and then like, imagine a Domain too. Imagine a Vanity Fiend, Domain, and the freaking, oh, bro, don't even though this is kind of excessive, it's just freaking insane. One Curaz, it's just one of those cards that you can go into if you need to go into. It just helps pop a couple cards on your opponents. Like, sometimes, even though it gives your opponents draws, you can pop 2 on your opponent and just help you OTK, and then there's also other times where you can have like a Prime Monarch set, because like, let's say you open a Prime, you can set it, and then if you can summon your Curaz, you can pump your own Prime, get a draw, and then Prime in the graveyard is obviously really good. So Curaz is really good. Triple Eidos is how you pronounce it. Triple Eidos, Triple Aidea. These two are just your only real normal summons. I mean, they're all normal summons, but your only real like starter normal summons of the deck. And these two are just very important to play. So obviously they complement each other. Triple Pantheism, triple Pot of Greed, that's pretty much what this card is. This card's insane. And then triple Tenacity to get to your Pot of Greed. So you have 6 Pot of Greeds in your deck pretty much. Deck's freaking wow. Pantheism, if you guys don't know, if you send a spell or trap, a Monarch spell or trap from your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. And then the other thing is you can banish the card from the graveyard, reveal 3 from your deck, and then your opponent picks 1 for you, and then it comes to your hand. If a lot of the time, let's say you have triple Domain in your deck, or triple Return in your deck, or triple Stormforth in your deck, and I'm pretty sure you can actually search Erupt with this, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Monarch Spell Trap. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can reveal Erupt. So you can reveal Erupt 2, if I'm not mistaken, and then just reveal triple Erupt, and now your opponent's like, okay, well, now I have to play around a monster, like a Vanity Fiend or something, plus like an Erupt. It's insane. So this card's just Pot of Greed for you. It's insane. You got triple Tenacity. The only problem is this deck still bricks. Like, if you open like 3 or 4 like of the big monsters, you really can't play. So I am playing double trade in only for these 2. Obviously they're both level 8s, so being able to just trade these in to get some more cards is pretty good. This card's not bad in your graveyard either, so it's not horrible. Triple Stormforth, because playing on your opponent's turn and tributing all your opponent's monsters is insane. This deck can go first and set up like a board, like let's say I Erupt Vanity Fiend, like I said, but you can also like go second and just straight up tribute your opponent's monsters. So when your opponent has a monster like Dragoons on their field and you can't out it by any means because it's freaking unaffected by stuff, you just go Stormforth and tribute over it. Like, it's super easy. It makes all your monsters pretty much just Gamma Seals, bro. Like, that's all your Monarch monsters are just Gamma Seals. They're all Kaiju. So you just tribute your opponent's monsters and you summon your own. It's actually just freaking insane. Next, you got Return of the Monarchs right over here. 3 Return of the Monarchs. This card's really good. Searches of your other like big monsters, but then on top of that, it's just a card that you can also pop with Curaz to get a free draw. So Return is really good. Triple Domain. Domain is one of those things that you don't play Terraforming for, because you can just search it with Tenacity and or Pantheism. So Domain is just, I mean, if you guys don't know what a Domain lock is, you guys are way too new at this game. Domain is freaking insane. So if you have no cards in your extra deck, which is why I have no cards in your extra deck, by the way, that's kind of the gimmick of Monarchs. where you have no cards in your extra deck. You can flip Erupt, you can flip Domain, and you control tribute summon monsters. Your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. And then there's also another thing where you can reveal these cards, and they become like, they need one less tribute pretty much. So instead of tributing 2, you can pretty much just tribute one of your normal summons to summon any of these 2. So it's really good in that sense. On top of that, if one of your tribute summon monsters attacks your opponent's monster, it can gain 800 attack during the damage step. So that's why this card is like, there's so many things. This card's insane. Escalation is just one of those things. It's kind of like a Stormforth. You can just tribute on your opponent's turn, but you just can't tribute your opponent's monsters. But it just makes it so that you can like summon like an Aether on your opponent's turn. Then you got triple Monarchs Erupt, because you just flip this with like a Vanity Fiend, you just win. You're just set. And then these 2, or these 3 I should say, are just fodder for your tribute summons. If it's in the graveyard, you can banish a Monarch spell trap from your graveyard to special summon the card in defense position, and then it's not treated as a trap card, funny enough. It's treated as a monster, so it's not like the Eldritch ones where you can like still Cosmic Cyclone it away. So it's one of those things where it just gets you a free extra body on the field if you need it for a tribute summon. So that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Like, I don't really know how much more to explain, even though I know this was like a shorter deck profile. This deck really just plays off of the fact that you don't need an extra deck and you stop your opponent from playing an extra deck. That's pretty much what it was. And then actually, like, since we're here, I know it's a shorter video, so we can get into it and just I can start talking about a side deck, which I didn't really prepare. But we all know Harpies, Feather Duster. Is it Harpies, Feather Duster? Yeah, Harpies, Feather Duster is back now. So Feather Duster would be really good in the side deck. Solemn Judgment, I think, is one of those cards that could be really good in the side deck as well. Siding it in going first is just insane. It's really easy to side in with this. And then you can side in if you wanted to, like a Majesty Fiend as well. You also have like those cards like Evenly Matched, because you don't really need your Battle Phase with this deck. So Evenly Matched is really good. It actually deals with a lot of the combo decks this format. So Evenly Match, Lightning Storm, literally like all the good side deck cards that you can think of, you can literally just play in this deck. That's why this deck is just so good in so many ways. Another option actually that I found was funny enough. I haven't really tested too much, so I didn't want to show it to you guys, but it's a really spicy card. And if you guys are testing, if you guys have more Monarch experience than I do, like, take a look at this, try it out, and if it does really well, please give me a shout out. But Magician's Souls, this card's insane. So you can send up to 2 spell or trap cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard and then draw that many cards. The reason this is so good is because like it sends your prime from your hand. It also sends return from your field once you're like done using the return. Let's say you use it to search already, right? Once you're done with this, you can send it to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. So you could just like draw to these 2, draw straight up 2 cards. You do need a spellcaster for it to send to the graveyard, so you would have to play like the Magician Girl, the Dark Magician Girl, Apprentice Illusion Magician. You would have to play that, but Magician's Soul is another card that makes this deck like a little bit less bricky. I'm gonna put it in the side deck. I mean, you wouldn't side it, but I'm just saying. It makes the deck a little bit less bricky because it gets you a draw 2. It also gets these cards that don't really do much out of your hand. Technically, if you open like multiple of these, you can get these out of your hand, so it's not bad in that sense either. So Magician's Soul is one of those cards that you could maybe find a way into the deck. It's pretty good. You still don't need your extra deck. The only thing is, like, once you put this on the board with like an Apprentice Illusion Magician or whatever it is, like, I don't know what you do with this without an extra deck. So that's kind of why it's like, I didn't put it in, because I wasn't sure, and I didn't take it to that extent where I could have been sure of like putting this in and making sure I have good combos with it. But I just think there's a lot of potential with this card, like a lot of spicy plays with Magician's Soul. Again, just because you can special summon this card for free, and then on top of that, you can send your Prime Monarchs from your hand that you don't need in your hand to the graveyard. You can send your returns to the graveyard that you don't need. Like that's why it could be really good. And you can really send any spell or trap cards. So if you open like a trade-in, for example, with like no level 8s, like it doesn't hurt to just send a trade-in. Even though I know, like, don't get me wrong, sending trading in is not a good idea, but I'm just saying, like, if worst comes to worst, like, you could maybe send a trade-in. Also, if you play this, I guess you could also play other spells or traps in your deck that could maybe do something in the graveyard as well. So I don't know. It depends on how you want to look at it, but it's just one of those things that I thought of, and I was like, man, there's a lot of potential with Magician's Souls in this deck, and it could be really good. So there's that. And then obviously, like, you just play the standard Cosmic Cyclones. I mean, you have Harpy's Feather Duster, but it's only at 1. You have Lightning Storms. Again, if this is too expensive, you just play Cosmic Cyclones or over it. That's fine. I get Lightning Storms an expensive card, trust me. I don't even know my own playset. So that's why I don't play it in my deck profiles, because I don't want to be one of those hypocritical guys where I just don't play this in my list. And I'll say it in every video because I don't have them myself, and I don't want to pretend like, oh, this is the list that I'm playing because I'm right. But I always say that, hey, if you guys have access to this, play this. Like, this card's insane, right? So definitely play the Lightning Storms if you want to play the Lightning Storms. Cyclone if you guys don't have that. Evenly Matched, I think it should be pretty budget right now, relatively budget, so I think it's okay. The other option is if you wanted to, you could play an extra deck with like Extravagance, because you banish your extra deck for Extravagance. But the thing is, at the same time, you're also kind of banking on drawing Extravagance so that your other cards are live. So It's kind of like a 50-50 with Extra, but it's really up to you, whatever you guys want to do with that. Anyways, so if you guys like this video, I'm sorry for no face cam, by the way. I was recording my face cam actually earlier at the beginning of this video, and then for some reason it just died. So unfortunately I have no face cam, sorry for that. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And with that, guys, Spanko. I love you all. Yeah. Signing out. Peace.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises, you ain't stopping this. Cross my shit.